What's happening, everybody? We are going to be here with part 2 for creating a stock item in the system. So we finished entering our header information, and now we're going to take a look at our general tab. Now, the first thing here is the item class. I won't dive too deep into an item class on this video. Feel free to take a look at our video on item class. However, this here is going to bring in a lot of defaults for this particular item. So if I go ahead and select an item class, what this is going to do is this is going to automatically populate a lot of the information that I need in order to create this item. So based off of what I have on the item class, I can actually go in and I can just save my record here after I enter the item class because all the information has been defaulted in. Now we're going to take a look, a bit further look into this particular item, but these item classes allow us to be able to just save an item and create it very quickly in the system to save time and keep moving forward. So let's take a look at the general tab here. So we've entered our item class, and as we saw, this populated a whole bunch of information here actual for this item. If we see our type is going to be a finished good. It's not going to be a component part. And we do not have the option here to check if it's a kit or not. We do have the option to check if it's a kit or not, but it is not checked due to what we have on our item class. We have our valuation method of how we want to track this. If we have a planning method set up, we can have that here. Tax category, this tax category is exempt. We have a different posting class. If we need different posting classes, we can have those options here. And lot serials for this particular item class is not tracked. All of these defaults can always be changed when you are entering a new item. So let's say this was a more unique option where you did select this, but you needed to change the lot or serial. You could go in here and you could select that accordingly. If you want to track country of origin, you could put that here. And then there's also some default warehouse information right here. So we have our default warehouse to our retail warehouse, and we have our default issue from and receipt to the storage warehouse right here. We've got our units of measure, which are very important. We do have another video going through these units of measure, but feel free to take a look at that for more information on these units of measure. But we have the ability to change those right here when we're setting up a new item. Just a note, once we start bringing in inventory and have inventory used for this particular item throughout the system, it's very hard to go back and change the units of measure. So I highly recommend you spend a little bit of extra time when you create your items just to make sure those units of measure are set up perfectly. We will take a look at some of the other tabs in part 3, but I hope this video helps, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.